Stores. More stores are closing amidst inflation. Check it out and make sure that y'all don't have y'all dog Rippy come down here to Detroit. It's not going to be a good look. We got pit bulls down in Detroit. They're a little different.
Major retail chains like Macy's and CVS are being forced to close thousands of their brick and mortar stores across the country.
Kelly O'Grady is giving us a closer look at what may be the cause.
This is not a small matter. This is going to change communities.
Well, over 3,400 retail stores are closing this year. That is a 22% increase compared to last year at this time. And Hollywood's iconic Arby's is closing after 55 years. The owners say in part thanks to California's $20 minimum wage law, while others are citing inflation as the cause.
Did we not? Jesus, that's a heck of a look. Did we not predict that this was going to happen the minute that they introduced this law, and we thought that they was going to start taking it serious? We already knew that everybody was going to get laid off, that all of these stores was going to close, that the franchisees was going to be going away. All historic restaurants and the places that's across California was going to ultimately just off theyself. They still haven't even fully recovered from what was happening during the pandemic. Most businesses have not recovered from what was going on in the pandemic. And so now that we see a lot of these people and a lot of these places closing, they had one foot in the grave, and then Gavin Newsom just went on ahead and pushed them right on in and then buried them and sent the dirt right over them.
Stores are not going to be there anymore. Restaurants are not going to be there anymore. So this is consequential, not only financially and from a real estate standpoint, but it's consequential in quality of life, availability of services.
Now, the top closures include Family Dollar at over 600 stores, followed by Route 21, 99 cents only stores, CVS, 7-Eleven, and more.
Retail demand itself, it was flat this past month. Consumer sentiment, it's at a 7-month low right now. Inflation is having a big impact on consumers' purchases.
There are a number of reasons driving these shutdowns. Poor strategy for one. Companies are also carrying a lot of debt. They're dealing with theft and the continuing rise of online shopping. And think about your own habits. Are you even going into a store anymore? Now, the former U.S. CEO of Toys R Us, though, says the biggest issue is the sales to cost ratio is out of whack.
Retailers have to generate same-store sales increases of 3 to 4% a year to be healthy. And if they don't do that, they can't pay the wage increases for their people, rent increases, cost of living, cost of doing business goes up by 3 or 4% a year.
Overall, retail sales only grew 2.3% over the last year, and inflation sits at 3.3%. So sales aren't keeping up with inflation, meaning consumers aren't buying as much. So while there isn't one reason across the board for these closures, when you have inflation coupled with weakening consumer demand, that means that dynamic impacts the stores that are already weak. They're going to continue struggling.
No, I think that people are still shopping. They're shopping more than ever. They just changing their shopping habits. Like you know that Amazon has already eroded the marketplace. Walmart is absolutely destroying everything. Inflation is a factor that goes into it. On top of that, you can't afford to continue to pay these rising costs and wages, including rent is going up, and then people are being pressured. And so it's like the perfect storm that's just absolutely destroying everything. And so instead of us helping businesses and trying to figure out how we can add value and then lower costs at the same time, California said, listen, we just going to go ahead and put them in the grave and keep it moving. But yeah, that's what's happening over in California. Over in, another part of California, on top of that, 4 teens and a 23-year-old. You remember when we was talking about that story the other day? 4 teens plus a 23-year-old was the ones that actually carjacked the dude and took the dude's Rolex over there in Beverly Hills. Check it out. Oh, shoot, hold on. I got you.
For that. Meantime, in Beverly Hills, 5 people are behind bars after an armed robbery. 4 of them are teenagers. Now, this is video that shows the crime happening in the middle of the day. NBC4's Alex Rozier has the video and joins us with more on what happened. Alex.
Yeah, it all happened in the middle of the day, in the middle of the road here on Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. Police said the armed robbers got away with an expensive watch, but minutes later, officers got it back when they made several arrests. Video shared on Instagram shows an armed robbery on Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. You can see one person grab a man's Rolex, while it appears another man pointed a gun at the owner of the watch.
I just can't believe it. Minutes
later, Beverly Hills PD said they arrested 4 teenagers and a 23-year-old following a brief pursuit that ended in Hollywood.
Is it more weird that a carjacking just happens in the middle of the daytime in Hollywood or Beverly Hills, shout out to you, James Watts. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Or is it more amazing that 4 of them was teenagers along with a 23-year-old? And they just literally threw their life away. Or maybe they didn't feel like they threw their life away because it's going to be reduced down to a misdemeanor because California is criminal friendly.
Feeling is wrong.
Deep Satay owns Bombay Palace. The robbery happened outside his restaurant. He said he's owned the restaurant for 40 years, but he thinks criminals have become emboldened because laws are too lenient.
It does not surprise me at all. This has become the new normal, and it's a
they
pity
rolling
that,
around with guns in their car.
This beautiful, great state of California, especially Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, has been ruined, and the politicians seem to be thinking it's a new normal. Across the street, we own the other business, which is we've made it into a membership only because we don't want people to come in, as we had a huge robbery last year.
He said he recently witnessed a theft on Rodeo Drive.
FedEx guys bringing their packages out, and a few guys come in and just take the packages away in front of everybody around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
As for the armed robbery on Wilshire last Thursday, Beverly Hills PD said they made a quick arrest after a city employee witnessed the crime and alerted police.
So if the city employee wasn't the one that was driving by, listen, it doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't matter if the criminals are getting arrested when everything is being reduced down to a misdemeanor and everybody can just get out of jail without no bail. What do you think that they're going to do? So they rolling around with guns, they carjacking people in the middle of the daytime, and for some reason we think that they're going to be scared just because they got arrested. No, they chilling. They chilling. People that carjack people in the middle of the daytime ain't scared of nobody. In the middle of traffic, they running up on people on Rodeo Drive, on busy intersections. They know that they can't even get away because traffic is so bad over there in California and LA. These type of people don't care nothing about you. I'll give you an example. For example, this woman is considered brain dead after an attack in a McDonald's parking lot. But the DA decided that they're not even going to charge the person that punched the person randomly in their car. And then the other person wind up slipping and falling and hitting their head. They're not even going to charge the person with a felony. They're going to charge them with a misdemeanor. Look, it's right here.
The family is accusing the LA County District Attorney of victim blaming. They allege the prosecutor is more interested in protecting the attacker.
I feel angry because how are you going to blame someone for being attacked?
Veronica Rangel says the LA County District Attorney is blaming her 74-year-old father, Juan Jose Rangel, for the beating he took by a homeless man at a McDonald's.
For the beating he took. It's got to be biblical. It's got to be something in the scriptures that predict that this is going to happen, man.
McDonald's drive-thru in Boyle Heights.
He was just at a drive-thru ordering food, and he was attacked.
After Jose was punched in the face while sitting in his car with the window rolled down, he got out of his vehicle. And that is why the LADA is filing only a misdemeanor charge against the homeless man, identified as Charles Green.
So he's sitting there in the McDonald's parking lot. Somebody walks up, mollywops him through the window because he just so happened to have his window down. Because he got out of his vehicle, the person is now going to have charges reduced. It's only because he got out of his vehicle. Don't matter what the circumstances was. If he thought that the person was going to come back, he's basically immobilized because he's in the vehicle, and so it's easier for him to be able to stand up and get away. So the people get out of the vehicle. One person slipped, hit their head because they wound up getting mollywopped in the first place. The district attorney reduces the charges down to a misdemeanor, and somebody is practically labeled as brain dead. You can't make this up. This is real life.
My father exited the vehicle because as the guy was walking around towards the back of the car, my dad in his mind thought that he was either going to come back to hit him more or go around and hit his wife.
When Jose got out of his car, Green continued attacking him. Jose's wife, Maria Guadalupe Vargas Luna, also got out of the vehicle in hopes of helping. She fell and hit her head on the concrete. She is now considered brain dead. Initially, the DA's office filed a felony count against Green for the injuries to Maria Guadalupe. But now the DA plans to file a motion to dismiss that charge altogether.
The role of the prosecutor is to follow the law, follow the truth, and advocate for their victims.
Retired LAPD detective Moses Castillo is a victims' rights advocate.
What they're doing now is they're advocating more so for those accused of crimes and the criminals. And that is a sad commentary.
Right after the attack, the defendant was arrested, but then released on his own recognizance. So far, he has missed 3 court appearances, and at this point, no one knows where he is.
You know we living in a simulation, right? Y'all know we living in a simulation. Like this isn't real life. None of this is real life. This is all we're all in one matrix, one big matrix. It's all just a simulation. This is not real. It's not real. It can't be. It's impossible that this is real. There's no way in hell that you're going to convince me that we are living in a real life right now. Seriously. Missed 3 court dates. Don't know who the person is. Don't even know if they gave you the right name. Just disappeared. Person brain dead. You can walk up, beat people up, punch them in the face. They're going to defend the criminals. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your Quick Hits.